inside, outdoors hunting big game. I come alive before opening day. It's a twisted addiction that calls my name. I gotta get inside, outdoors hunting big game.
A gator in the Sooner State.
Stacy Howell is a good friend of ours that we love going turkey and hog hunting with in his home state of Florida.
Yeah, we had so much fun hunting down there at the Box 11 Ranch, we thought it was only right to invite him to our home state and hunt on one of our favorite places, Big Prairie Bucks.
Now, most of you probably know already that South Florida isn't particularly famous for its big whitetails. So you can bet when we asked Stacy to come up to Oklahoma for a muzzleloader hunt, he was all over it.
And what topped it all off is, little did we know, this would be one of the most exciting deer hunts he's ever been on.
Well, one of the things we had going for us was the temperature, because in southern Oklahoma in October, it can still be pretty warm. The second thing, and probably most importantly, was the rut was off the charts. The first deer we saw that morning was a doe, but she had a big shooter right on her tail. They were doing about Mach 2 through the timber, so I didn't really get any footage of them, but that was just the beginning.
We just had a doe run by us and big buck right on our trail, but he was in hot pursuits and there wasn't no way we could even get a shot.
Tall and massive, wasn't he?
Huh?
He was tall and massive.
Yeah, he was big buck. Big buck. Something just ran across over there. I don't know what it was.
And that was a cool looking buck, and he was ripping those trees up.
Man, there was no doubt he was the sheriff in town, and he wasn't about to let those little bucks get in there next to his hot doe. Unfortunately, as luck would have it, he stayed just inside that thicket to where we couldn't get a shot at him. And when she decided to leave, of course she went the other way, and he was right on her tail.
But you guys did learn something that day.
Yeah.
Note to self, don't leave tree clippings under your tree stand.
Getting Aunt Tanny going here. It's too early for inspirational words this morning.
Been seeing a lot of activity and bucks running does. Matter of fact, we just saw 8-point about 200 yards down to the west. Came out first thing and went across the pipeline here, but trying a different spot this morning, and hopefully we'll catch a buck running a doe across here, so we'll see what happens. You see those turkeys? That big one in the back does. Does it? That red one with a white patch. Come on away from Southwest Florida where there's hogs everywhere, and you put me in a hog stand in Oklahoma.
Hog and cattle.
Yeah.
Are y'all deer hunting or hog hunting?
You know how that place is. It's a wildlife mecca. Well, the big boys didn't show up that morning, but the small bucks we saw pushing does got us thinking if a shooter did show up, he was probably going to be crossing that pipeline pretty fast, and it might be tricky to get a shot off. So that afternoon, we decided to back off into the timber and bushwhack a small ground blind and watch some hot scrapes that we had found and see what was actually working them. We set up on the scrapes and we saw the bucks that were working them, and they weren't the ones we were looking for.
Now you got one more chance to get Stacy in front of a shooter, or it's back to Florida with nothing.
Big buck, big buck, big buck. Right there, right there, right there, coming. Is that good? Well, we had to bushwhack this blind here. Go back to old school. Sit here and we cut us a few shooting lanes here, and Dave and I scouted this afternoon or midday, and this area here hadn't been hunted in a couple of years, and we're walking around looking and found a cedar tree 3 or 4 inches around that had been rubbed, and not a whole lot of other sign, but just that rub alone had us curious. So we decided to come here and set up, and we're sitting on a flat with hardwoods all the way around us, and hopefully a hot doe will run out and a buck will get out here in front of us. So we're gonna give her a shot and see if our luck goes the right way.
Imagine that, on a hunt with Dave, and it's down to the last day.
Hey, it keeps it exciting that way. It is our last chance. We're rolling the dice. We're going old school in this setup, but I don't think we could have got much closer if we wanted to.
There they are. Big bug, big bug. Bunch of bugs. Yep. That one's a good one. Yeah. Here we go, here we go. There's another bug, little bug. There's another one. They ain't no more worried about us. Ah, there's something way over there. All I saw was bugs. Little bug. Big bug, big bug, big bug. Right there, right there, right there, coming. Yep. He just went there.
Sweet, bro.
I don't know. Dude, we just, what's it been? Maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What were, he went down, but we need to wait. That's what, 4 bugs? That makes the 4th? Yeah. He's got his mouth open like he's been running for 3 hours. He was 5 yards, man. He was standing right there, and I couldn't even, he was behind that bush. That quit. Rolling the dice. We just sat down, man. Just sat down. Yeah, they just gave me a fresh battery to put in the mic. And just as soon as I turned around, I see these bugs running, at least 3 bugs running in circles. I never saw the doe. And so after a couple of minutes, I didn't see anything. And so 2 bucks ran about 25 yards in front of us. And then, where's that right there? There's another, what is that, a bug? There's another bug.
There's a hot doe around here.
Yeah, she's hot too.
And he's trying to find her. Look at that.
Look at that, man.
Have you ever seen a rutting activity like this?
No, this is crazy. There's the doe. There's the doe right there. Another buck. There's a decent buck. There's another one. Yeah, that buck was right behind her. That's the 4th or 5th buck. And so anyway, they made a big loop. And
There was a good one in that group.
yeah. And so then there's another buck on the same trail. So that's 5 or 6 bucks. And so then the big buck's run, he's out there 100 yards running straight to us. And he stops right there in front of the bush. And I have my gun up, I can't shoot. And so we're yelling at him. And so he starts angling off. And finally I have a decent shot and I let one go and hit him good. And it looks like he ran over in this little thicket over here and he's down. Or I know he's down, so we're gonna give him a few minutes. But there's definitely a hot doe running around here from a steamer. There's a steamer here somewhere. Oh my gosh, man. I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, in everywhere I've been, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, one doe. There were 6 bucks, 2 shooter bucks. I mean, it's big prairie bucks, big prairie outfitters. It lives up to its name. I mean, the whole trip, we've seen nothing but every place we've sat, we've seen bucks. Well, dude, let's go look at my deer, man. Well, this blood trail's leading us right into this creek bottom, so. And looks like this creek bottom's got where this creek's at's real steep, so. I don't know, maybe we'll find him down here, I hope.
Man, that was some serious chaos. You guys were on the front row of that show.
You're telling me. It was probably one of the most exciting and frustrating hunts I've ever tried to film. There were bucks literally running circles around us. In fact, there was so much going on that even though Stacy's deer had already laid down in that thicket, another small buck that was running around looking for that hot doe ran right by him. He got up and they went down into the timber together. So we decided maybe we ought to give him a couple more hours before we go in there after him.
Man, there's blood all down along this trail here. Good blood. Looks like he stopped right here for a few minutes. You know, he looks like he stood here. Oh, I see a big pile of blood on the other side of the creek.
Excuse me, that's what you saw.
Look at that big pile of blood. It's on the other side of the creek. I don't know if he crossed the creek or what.
He had to have crossed the creek. Look right there in front of you.
Oh my God.
Look at you better walk.
Can you believe that? I didn't even see him.
Holy.
Didn't even see him. Oh man, what a wicked. Look at this rack. Look at the G2 on this thing. It's been probably 3 hours since I shot him, and as cold as this water is, he's almost stiff. Not completely, but he's pretty stiff. It's like he's a 10-pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. If you count that, it's 10. I can hang a ring on it.
That's right.
So I'm gonna count it. Yes. Finally. Y'all got a fine operation here. Looks like you do some good management practices on these bucks, because we've just been all over them all week. Or they've been all over us all week, yeah.
8 years management now, so it's starting to pay off a little bit.
Yep, I'd say so.
Been 3/8. $129. You better not get too close.
I gotta get inside, outdoors hunting